Hi, I'm Vlad. I'm a Russian, and for the last 4 years, I've been watching Russians argue about Russia like they live in two different realities. In my circle, there are people who support what is happening in the country almost completely, and there are those people who reject it almost completely. And what's disturbing is that many of them are not idiots. They are smart, decent, sincere people. Some of them used to speak to each other normally before. And now they can barely stand each other. And that drove me crazy, really, for a long time. Because I would hear two intelligent people, both serious, both moral in their own minds, making completely opposite arguments, and both sounded coherent, at least. And this video is about what it has been like to live with that for 4 years now. And let me say clearly straight away where I stand. I'm for my country. You can call me a patriot. This is not negotiable, and it's not the topic of this video, actually. I'm not a neutral observer, right? And I'm not undecided. I have decided. And this is exactly why I think I have the right to say this. This video is not about which side you should choose. It's about how we talk to each other and why we have stopped hearing each other completely. I'm not trying to persuade one camp to join the other. Like hardline pro-government people may say I'm not loyal enough. Hardline opposition, may say I'm justifying the unjustifiable. I'm not trying to please either side. And I need to warn you, some of what I'm about to say will probably annoy both sides. And here is the main point, basically. Right now, on both sides of this argument, there are smart, sincere, values-driven people. Not all of them, of course, but many of them. Not paid actors, not fools, not some cartoon villains, And if you refuse to admit that, you are already lying to yourself about reality. What makes this so painful is that people on both sides often want similar things at the highest level. I mean, they want justice, they want safety, they want dignity, they want a future for their children, they want something good for their country, but they live inside different information bubbles. And thus, they trust different sources. And also, they have different experiences. So, they start with different facts, or what they believe are facts, and they arrive at opposite conclusions. And sometimes those conclusions feel logical from inside, almost every time. And there is actually one simple principle that changed how I see this. There is a common saying that your friend notices mostly your positive sides and your enemy notices mostly your negative sides. That makes sense, right? And now apply that to a country. One group consumes mostly negative information about Russia and sees only failure, cruelty, repression, collapse. Another group consumes mostly pro-Russian information and sees trends, resilience, dignity, and the failure of the West, basically. Then each other looks at the other and sees only the worst in them. That's how certainty hardens. That is how people become deaf. Now, let me say something else very clear. I believe in criticism. I believe a country needs criticism, right? I believe loyalty doesn't mean blindness, vice versa. There are many things in Russia that personally trigger me. The gap between Moscow and the regions, the underdevelopment of huge parts of the country, the closure from international scientific and cultural exchange, the brain drain, the obsession with money as a main measure of success, sometimes even for a lot of people in the government. And these are real problems. And naming them doesn't make me a traitor, right? It makes me a person who actually cares. And loving your country doesn't mean approving of everything in it. And the opposite is also true. Criticizing your country doesn't automatically make you morally superior. This is one of the biggest traps of this whole conversation. This demands that you must be either fully for or fully against. A country is not a football club. It's more complicated than that. You can love your country and hate many things happening inside it. You can defend your country and still want serious change. You can criticize power without rejecting your people. You can, you can stay, you can leave. Both are human choices. What destroys everything is a refusal to hear. And now I want to tell you something personal. This is not like a political analogy. It's not an argument. It's just the reason this whole subject hits me so deeply. When I was 7, my parents split up. Before the divorce and after it, they screamed at each other constantly, and my father told me, what was wrong with my mother. My mother basically told me what was wrong with my father, and both in their own way wanted me to choose. But I loved them both, right? They are both my parents. And when the two people closest to you are tearing each other apart and demanding loyalty, it does something to your mind, believe me. It makes you feel like you are being ripped in half. This is the feeling I often get now when I listen to Russians talk about other Russians. Not as a logical argument, right? As a body memory. When I hear traitors on one side and brainwashed slaves or something like this on the other, I hear the same structure: choose, condemn, cut off love, cut off complexity, declare one side pure and the other disgusting. I know what that feels like, and I know it can make a person go insane. Now let me be fair to both sides. What I dislike in parts of the radical opposition is when criticism becomes their whole identity. Fine, you criticize the country. Then what? What are you building? What are you proposing that is serious, realistic, and not just fantasy? I often see endless contempt and almost no structural path toward. And what I dislike in parts of vice versa radical pro-government side is when any criticism of the authorities is treated as betrayal of the country, right? This is the same mistake, but in reverse. It's just mirror image fanatics. Both sides have the same disease, basically. The unwillingness to hear anything that threatens their emotional comfort. So here is my simple test for media. If a source talks about, let's say, a country, months after months, and shows you only the good while hiding the bad, this is 100% propaganda. And if another source shows you only the bad while hiding the good, that is also 100% propaganda, just for you to know. That doesn't mean there is no truth there. It means you are being shown only one side of the coin. Turn the coin, please. Look again. Personally, I no longer divide people into patriots and opposition. That division has become too stupid for reality, at least for me. Now I divide people differently. Those who are still capable of hearing the other side, and those who are completely trapped inside their bubble. That, to me, is the real line. Because if you can only see the world through us versus them, life becomes emotionally simpler. It maybe gives you energy, it gives you a clear enemy, it gives you a clear role, but it also makes you blind. And yes, complexity is harder. It gives you less adrenaline, but it gives you more truth. And I'm not asking everyone to agree. It's impossible. I'm not asking people to hold hands and pretend nothing serious is happening. I'm asking for one thing only. Don't deny the other side humanity before the conversation even begins, right? Because on both sides, there are people worth listening to. And when you allow yourself to hear them, your own view like doesn't become weaker. It may only become stronger, or at least it becomes deeper. So if two things matter to you, then maybe we are on the same path. First, you want a worthy future for your country and its next generations. Fair enough. And second, you are willing to listen to people you disagree with. That's the hardest part. If both are true, welcome. If not, that's okay. We are probably living in different worlds. I hesitated before making this video because honestly, there is almost no upside in saying the things out loud, only a text from both directions. Because my opinion is not popular, obviously, but maybe it still needs to be said. And if even one person, well, in the next argument, pauses for a second and thinks, maybe the person in front of me is not evil. Maybe there are, maybe he or she is seeing a different piece of reality. Then this video probably was making.